We're recording, and now let's start this party. Hello, and welcome to another edition of our Stonewood Study Group. The series has taken us many different places lately, and actually, the last few have been pretty slide heavy. So we're going to keep it light today. You just see me, and I've got my colleague Becky Swansberg here. Becky, how you doing?
Great. Can't wait to talk some webinars.
Awesome. Yeah. So the topic for today is an old friend. We are going to talk about automated webinars. And no, it is not March of 2020. We're in the middle of 2024. And it is a tool that I think so many people use to get through the pandemic, to build their practice when we couldn't meet with people one on one. And then, of course, once live events came around, everybody went back to that and they forgot about our old friend here that was so successful. But key word being successful, right? So
We're
we've
back.
made an effort. We've made an effort this year to bring them back because we are having tremendous results in today's environment from automated webinars from multiple partners that we have. So what we thought we'd do, Becky and I, are just going to kind of talk through some of these different concepts, some success stories, how different ways you can execute, because if you have different goals, then we have different strategies that you can utilize to achieve those goals. So, Becky, why don't we just start by just kind of talk about why now? Like, why are we going to bring webinars back into the fold?
Yeah, well, so why webinars this year as we kind of enter in to the three next quarters of 2024? Two main reasons. The first is, in 2020, when a lot of us were actively doing webinars, we were doing them kind of as a replacement to seminars. Obviously, during the pandemic, a lot of our states had rules against gathering, and so this was the best way to reach people. In the time since then, though, we've really been able to hone down on the mechanics of webinars and what makes them so successful. And they have become kind of a core foundational piece of many successful advisors' marketing throughout the year. And it's great because whether you need it to just deliver steady leads month after month after month, or whether you want to use automated webinars to plug marketing holes in a month where you're not doing a seminar or other outbound activity, automated webinars work great. Now, I said two reasons. The other
Yeah.
reason is that 2024 has one of the best messaging environments for automated webinars that we've seen in a long time. And that is because, as everyone on the call has probably noticed, uh, we have a little election coming up. Uh, our clients are acutely aware coming off of tax season this week and looking ahead into the election. They know there's a lot going on in Washington. They want to get a handle on their taxes and retirement. There's a lot of confusion and misinformation, and so they're looking for help. And we are finding, although automated webinars were really firing in late 2022 and into 2023, late 2023 into 2024, automated webinars are firing on all cylinders. And I truly believe it's because of this environment that we're communicating in, because we can talk taxes, we can talk an election. It's kind of the perfect storm. So I'm excited that you guys have joined us on this webinar today, because this is a strategy that whether you're already doing automated webinars and looking to optimize them, or if you're looking to get back into them or get into them for the first time, this is a key time to be kind of evaluating this approach for your practice.
Yeah, and you mentioned like it's certainly a topic that everybody, talking about the election year and
Yeah.
such. It's also social media fodder, right? So we've got some great partners that can help you advertise on social media to this automated webinar. So to me, it's kind of the perfect storm of great content. You got an expert and Becky that's kind of worked in the White House and on Capitol Hill, and we've created that term legislative risk. It's playing perfectly right now, but you also have the right format because social media is where so much of this conversation happens. So if you've got companies that can help you market your practice to an automated webinar, it's all kind of happening in that environment. In an election year, it is from early on, like as we start to do this, it's awesome to see some of the results. Yeah, I kind of made the comment, if you have different goals, and by goals, I mean marketing goals, if you're
Mhm.
trying to execute different strategies, then you need different methods to go. It's not a one size fits all. And the good news is we have partners to kind of help us at all aspects of the marketing. So Becky, you want to kind of break down like the different ways we can go about that, about using an automated webinar, whether we're advertising to it, whether we're working a list or other things. You want to kind of break that down?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the different ways that we can use automated webinars in our practice to grow. And then here at Stonewood, I'll kind of marry in the resources we have to help you with this. Uh, there are kind of two ways, and I mentioned this briefly while Neil and I were kind of getting started today. Two real ways you might want to use an automated webinar. Number one is almost like a live event, something that you are going to market to and drive people at a date and time to come see this webinar. In that way, the fact that the webinar is pre-recorded is really only a factor of making sure there are no technology glitches and that you don't have to show up online at 7 p.m. The other way that a lot of people want to use automated webinars is just kind of this evergreen webinar that is always running in the background of your marketing. And that is just kind of kicking out leads to you, and you're continually kind of marketing to a webinar that really the technology has it running in the background every day. When your prospect comes to their registration page, they're feeling like it's an event that is just planned and it happens to be just a day or two from where they are today. So what I love about automated webinars is they do a great job of two distinct things that a lot of us are trying to do in our practice marketing. One, they are great for generating cold leads. So all of us are looking to grow our marketing lists, and automated webinars are great because whether someone registers or attends the event, we now have their contact information. We've given them something of value. They've given us their contact information, and it's great to build your list. The other thing that automated webinars are great to do is warming up a list that you already have. So that's really the process of, do you have clients and you're looking for additional wallet share from those clients? Do you have prospects that have come to maybe a seminar? Maybe it was 2 years ago, but didn't book an appointment. Well, now you have another bite at that apple, another reason to reach out with some value for them to use. So automated webinars for me are this great tool that can both help build our cold lead lists, but also really help us warm those lead lists and then get those prospects on the phone or in the office for an appointment. The other great piece about automated webinars is that you can really cast a wide net. You know, if you're going to do a live seminar, which I love, this is not, I would not say webinars are always a replacement for seminars, but the reason I think they
Yeah.
work so well hand to hand is a seminar. You've really got to think, how far can someone drive to attend this event? How far can that person drive to come in the office and meet with me? When we're doing webinars, we can, we can market to the entire East Coast of the United States of America. You want to market to all of Texas and California, go for it. If you work with federal employees, let's market anywhere in the country with large populations of federal employees. Because it is beginning online, those appointments can be easily managed once we go to meeting with the client, also in an online fashion. So I think they also let us expand our marketing reach. So with all that, I hope I've gotten you a little hyped up to give some focus to automated webinars this year. You can tell I'm a big fan of them. I want to talk through a couple resources that Stonewood is launching this year to help you incorporate these automated webinars into your practice. And, why this year? Neil mentioned it. I mentioned it. Every so often, we have this environment in America and this product that just fit hand in hand together, where 1+1 really ends up equaling 3. And that's really what it is with these automated webinars and this tremendous tax and legislative risk message. So, 3 ways that you may want to get into automated webinars and how Stonewood can help you with any of that. So the first is Stonewood has a variety of compliance reviewed consumer presentations that you can use to build your own webinar. So if you want to present your webinar, we've got slide decks, speaker notes. We can help you put together a great story and frame up tax and legislative risk. Of course, other Stonewood resources like our books, like our total tax burden report, like the retirement tax bill lead generator, all play into that webinar messaging of getting someone's attention, giving them something of value, and then having a super strong call to action so that they want to book an appointment with you. So we have actually updated all of our seminar and webinar PowerPoints new for 2024. Most recent sales stories that we are finding converts as we go out and talk to clients across the country. And so all of those new um, seminar PowerPoint presentations are going live in your Stonewood account this week. So if you haven't checked it out, we've got one on estate planning that is a great tax topic for this year. We've got one on the rising tax risk in retirement. We've got one on Washington's impact to your retirement. Tons of great topics to choose from as you build your own webinar. You can use them as a whole presentation, or you can pick and choose different slides or narratives you like to put into your webinar. So that's great if you want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Now, if you are someone that says, wow, I don't know that I want to record a webinar all on my own, don't worry. We have a great turnkey webinar program. And here's how that works. Neil and I have actually gone ahead and recorded that webinar for you. We've tested it. The messaging converts, the appointment setting converts. And all you have to do then is record an intro video and an outro video. So essentially what that is it looks like you are inviting us as experts to come present to your clients and prospects. Of course, all the appointments come in to you, and it's totally turnkey. So we've partnered with some of the industry's leading automated webinar providers. And what they will do is go ahead and when you say, yes, I'm interested in the automated webinar, they'll handle the landing page, registration, marketing, actually physically hosting the webinar, getting all the recordings out to the public, and then, of course, doing the follow up for who registered, who attended, and who completed the webinar. So we'll talk through a couple different options on that. But I want to talk through real quick the third option, which is we've had increasingly advisors say, hey, that's great, but I just want to customize that message a little for my audience. So Neil and I also do record custom Meet the Author webinars. And I really love these if you have a very specific kind of audience that you are targeting. So I'm recording one this month where we are targeting women savers. Now, that doesn't mean our core message on taxes and retirement and legislative risk changes. It just means that the advisor and I can be on the screen together, framing up the narrative for this advisor's specific target audience, which is retired and widowed and divorced women. So we can really say, hey, as a female saving for retirement, here's where you need to focus. So 3 ways: record it yourself, just plug and play with our custom recording, or let us do a custom recording with you. Either way, I will say across all 3 of those options, we are seeing great conversion for both list building and appointment setting.
Yeah. So as I'm listening, I like the different approaches, right? Some people are do-it-yourselfers. They're very comfortable in front of a screen and they can pull it off themselves. We've got awesome content for you. Other people would rather bring in an expert
Yeah.
that, kind of borrow some of, Becky's experience in DC or some of mine in the industry. And then you can kind of bring us in, kind of set the stage for you. And then, of course, you've got the pre-recorded close where you close your own and drive that activity to you, or that situation where you want to customize things. So a lot of different options here. One of the questions I had myself, and I think our audience probably have it too, is how do you connect the dots? Like we started this by saying it's an election year, and I think it's pretty intuitive, but let's just kind of speak through it here. How do we connect the dots from it being an election year into the content that we're providing? How do we lead that into either basically a rising tax risk seminar or an estate planning seminar? How's that working?
It's a great question. So it's interesting across both automated webinars and even our email marketing campaigns, social media marketing, some of the top converting subject line content or initial content is this question: how will the 2024 election impact my retirement? Or could taxes go up for me in retirement based on the election? And the reason I truly believe it's such a powerful top converting message is because it connects to something that is on everyone's mind, right? If you have turned on CNN or Fox News, no one is escaping the election. So it's something that our target audience knows about. And then we can raise curiosity in them. Most savers have not considered how the election might impact their taxes in retirement. And finally, and this is the kicker, it's a question they can't answer on their own. It's hard to Google what's the answer? How will the election impact my taxes? So they need your help and they need the expertise of this webinar to come learn how to do that. So then we're going to take them through why we are entering as a nation into a rising tax environment, how that could impact their retirement if, like most Americans, they've saved all or the majority of their funds in tax deferred vehicles like 401ks and IRAs. And then, of course, the other component why I think these Stonewood webinars are some of the top converting webinars we're seeing in the industry is because we have a super powerful call to action. Because it's not just saying, hey, come in and I'll analyze all your stuff. In the webinar, we can show them a total tax burden analysis. We can show them a sample of how we analyze someone's potential retirement tax bill. And then the call to action is, hey, if no one has ever shown you your potential retirement tax bill, you can't wait to have that done. Book a call and we will show you, maybe for the first time in your life, the total potential taxes you may pay based on how you're currently saving. And then we can model out some options that can help you reduce or even eliminate that tax bill in retirement. And that's where I really think the rubber meets the road, because
Mhm.
it's not just about getting people onto the webinar. It's about creating a genuine connection and the belief that your practice can help them do something that they don't know how to do on their own and that could have a big financial and psychological impact to them if they don't get it done.
Yeah, and then as we always talk about in our trainings, it's like be the advisor that can solve that for them, right? Because so many, like if we're going to play in the AUM game and the market risk game, and even now in the annuity game where we're solving income problems, every street corner in America has got multiple
Yes.
advisors that can do that for you. So how do you differentiate? Well, you differentiate by being the advisor in your market that can understand, that can articulate tax and legislative risk, and then be able to build and execute a plan to help mitigate that risk. I think it's a big deal. And this automated webinar program is really just an extension of that. How can we make you bigger than you are? If you're a one person shop, how can we make you appear a little bit bigger, do some, work smarter? If you're already a pretty big shop where you got a full staff, how can we bring more people into that funnel that you've got a team of people to work in? So one of the things I'm thinking through here is like, okay, so what do you get? Like, what are the things
Yeah.
that you get? And with Stonewood, really, we're content, right? So if we're a do-it-yourselfer, we've got the PowerPoint slides that you can have. If you want to go the estate planning route, we have those slides. If you want to go the rising tax risk or even the legislative risk content, we have full slide decks that you can use. You just go into your Stonewood account and download those PowerPoint slides. There's speaker notes. We got a team of people here that can train you on what to say. Hopefully, you're already doing this kind of stuff with your live events, but we can show you how to use that stuff. And the nice thing is, it's a PowerPoint slide. So if you're like you've already got something you like doing, you can slice and dice it if you want. But I wouldn't venture too far because what we have is proven to work. But that's just part of so if we want to do the automated program where you're using our recording, like that's part of it. So you can go to one of our partners and we've got a recording at each one of the partners that you can use. So that is also our content where you can go and you
Yeah.
can use that. And as a Stonewood member, that's a kind of a benefit of being a member. But I will say that with webinars, results come a little bit differently than with dinner seminars, right? Because at a dinner seminar, you got 30, 40 people show up. Those that are good at it, you book the room, right? And you're like, man, I'll let one or two or three or five get away, but we can get a ton of appointments. Webinars, you got to kind of apply a little bit more elbow grease where, the successful campaigns that we're hearing about, maybe you're picking up 5 to 10 appointments right on the spot, which is awesome. But you apply a little bit of elbow grease and you're able to go and work that. So Becky, let's talk
Yeah.
about the Stonewood tools. I know you mentioned it a little bit, just kind of when we were kind of running through this,
Yeah.
but I think it's important to spend some time on this. Let's say I do a webinar campaign and I've got 50 people that watched it, and I was able to book 5 appointments. By the way, 5 appointments is really great for a webinar, but that doesn't mean we stop there. How do we go get the other 45?
No, it's a great question. So the thing with webinars is obviously it is much less expensive than a seminar to go get leads. But those leads have a different feeling of maybe adhesion to your practice than if you've come to a live event. So with an automated webinar, I think every single person that registers, whether or not they attend, is at least a good quality lead for you because you know that they're interested in these topics. So let's take just a little step back and talk about the different ways that we kind of get people into these webinars. And I think you'll start to see then how we follow up with them. So I mentioned that Stonewood has kind of partnered with a couple different leading webinar providers, depending on the kind of automated webinar you want to do. And we can help you talk through this. We can help talk through this with you about the specific needs for your practice. But generally, one of two ways that we're going to go find these leads. We're either going to go find them as cold leads through Facebook marketing or other kind of SEO and paid advertisement marketing. Or maybe you already have a list of names that you've purchased, or maybe you have a warm leads list, and then we're going to go do email marketing to the list that you already have. So some of what will come down the pipeline will depend on how familiar you feel that person is with your practice and how we want to nurture them. Now, if you're doing our turnkey program with our partners, they will already follow up with every registrant and attendee, usually based on one of three things. Did the person register for the webinar but not attend? Great, let's send them a rewatch link and see if we can get them re-engaged. Did they register and watch but not finish the webinar with you? Let's send them a rewatch link and make sure that they know the call to action that they might have missed on the end of the webinar. Or third, did someone attend the webinar but didn't book an appointment afterwards? Let's now retarget them with a very strong call to action email and giving them the opportunity to book. You know, the fact of the matter is, when we're in the baby boomer market, sometimes booking from the link on the screen and something pops up, people get overwhelmed or they don't do it fast enough. Always there's another opportunity for them to sit and then make that appointment with you. Once that process is finished up, here's what we recommend. First, just like you would with any seminar attendee that did not book an appointment, outbound phone calls. First and foremost, let's try to get the person on the phone. Let's get some feedback on what they found valuable out of the presentation. Let's try to connect that to something we can help them with. So if you don't have a phone script that you're already using, as a follow-up to this webinar, and I'll try to post as Neil's closing us out in the chat too. We have launched an entire automated webinar toolkit that will help connect you to the different resources Stonewood has, the different partners we work with, and the different follow-up tools that you can access. So one resource in that kit is, of course, a sample call script if you don't have one that you're currently using. Phone calls, phone calls, phone calls. After that, I think it's great to put anyone that still hasn't booked an appointment into a kind of an email funnel where maybe we're going to send them a series of 3 emails over 3 weeks that just continue to nurture that relationship. Maybe they weren't ready to make a call with you to get their retirement tax bill, but that's when you can send them your RTB landing page and say, here, run the tax bill on your own. If you don't like what you see, let's get an appointment. That's where maybe you could offer, we have included in there some white papers that I've offered. You know, hey, you just heard Becky speak on this webinar. Come read her insights on what's happening with taxes in Washington and how it might impact your retirement. You can do, if you're using BombBombs or any kind of video follow-up, you can do some video follow-up via email as well. So we've got templates for all of those emails to put through that funnel. At the end of that funnel, anyone that still hasn't become a client should just absolutely go on your leads list. And I would put them into whatever funnel you have to nurture new leads into your practice, continue educating them about your practice, and then that's a great way to build the list that you can communicate to.
Yeah, I mean, and it's part of the webinar, the one that Becky and I do. The call to action is a free copy of the book. So part of your follow up is going to be doing what you said you were going to do, which is sending them a link. There's a digital book program that we have where you send a digital link, but maybe you want to send a hard copy too, right? Great way to get the mailing address and say, hey, I'm going to drop a couple of copies of our book in the mail to you. Read it, share it with your friends. Just again, kind of expanding your the area and your network of people that identify you as the expert in tax and legislative risk. Looks like Becky had just hit the link there. So that
But I
is
think I
that.
only sent it to organizers. Neil, you might have to post a link. I don't know that
Oh, look at that
it
on
is
the fly.
allowing me today to communicate with everyone.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah. So here's the kind of the call to action. And before we go, I want Neil to definitely share with us some of the kind of results that we're seeing because they really are just such a great core marketing component for 2024. But if you have questions, just book some time with our team. If you shoot me an email, it's just Becky@stonewoodfinancial.com. Get in touch with us. We're happy to help figure out how automated webinars might work in your practice, connect you with our partners, depending on what kind of webinar you're looking to do, or of course, talk with you about recording something custom for your practice. And
Yeah,
look at that. Neil
yeah.
is allowed to talk to everyone.
I
He
pulled
has
it
all the
off.
power in this organization.
I had to choose everyone, and it worked. I can't believe
It
it. I
wouldn't let
pulled
me.
it off.
No. All right.
So
Cheers to
I
our
feel.
successes.
I know nothing sells like success, and so what I thought I'd do is just kind of share some success stories that we've heard early on in pushing this out. And this is where I cheat on my notes a little bit. By the way, if you're doing webinars and you're like, I don't know what to say, and I freeze up or whatever, just go ahead and say, hey, let me access my notes. I want to make sure I get this right. There's nothing wrong with saying that on camera.
Yeah.
Um, so I've got this is a campaign that an advisor out of New York ran, and this particular advisor signed up for what's like a large campaign. All of their advertising for this was on Facebook, so they leveraged one of our partners that's specific to Facebook, and they used the recording that Becky and I did with call to action to get your total tax burden and to get a copy of the digital book. Um, and this one, I think his was a federal employees guy. So he marketed in Texas. He marketed in uh, some spots on the East Coast, maybe even California
I think
too.
California.
Um, and this advisor, just from the first campaign, 159 registrants to his event. So that's immediately before anything else. That's 159 people that is now on his list to continue to work. The good news is 86 of those 159 actually showed up and watched the recording. So remember, this was the service where we're marketing to a live event, even though it was pre-recorded. But people, when they tune on, when it was advertised, it's like, okay, this is going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. Go to your laptop and watch this. And so, marketing to that specific event. 86 people actually went and watched it live. From those, booked 12 appointments. Uh, and for a webinar, that's a monster number. It's really good. And he was able to book 15 more through like applying that elbow grease. So that's 27 appointments that he was able to book from this event. First case out of the gate was a $900,000 Roth conversion into an annuity. Plus, he brought in another $2.5 million in AUM. Where eventually, and the way this sales process works, this particular advisor does some annuities early on for certain clients, and then he'll bring them in some AUM, and then like start the Roth conversion conversation, and maybe start a 5-pay IUL like in year 2. So whether you're doing Roth conversions within your managed accounts or annuities, whether you're doing IUL, all of it works here. So that's just early on in this campaign, and that was from one event. Right, that was using the power of Facebook and social media to market to casting a pretty wide net and picking up 159 digital leads. And I guarantee you, made a lot more money on that annuity and AUM than he spent on the campaign. Like that's all. At the end of the day, for marketing, we want ROI, right? And that's pretty awesome to see. Uh, Actually, when we were marketing this webinar, and I think she's on this as an attendee, but from what I understand, last night we had someone run one of these and booked 5 appointments right out of the gate. So 5 appointments from a campaign. That was another one with Becky and I where she used our recording. But what's cool about that one is she didn't cast as wide a net as you can. Like when you work with these partners, you can either choose a small campaign or a large campaign. And that's really just picking and choosing what your Facebook buy is, like your ad buy on Facebook. This particular advisor chose the small package, so I imagine she was just kind of testing the waters a little bit. But 5 appointments right out of the gate for what's considered a small spend, which I think is not near the cost of a dinner seminar. Um, and so she got 5 appointments right out of the gate and hadn't even started to do any of the elbow grease stuff where we got to work to bring people in. So that was awesome. And then we had another person who did this campaign, and on their initial deal, they got 7 appointments, and they were happy with the 7 appointments. But then we said, no, you need to go in and work it. So what they did was after that, they started sending out the RTB link, and in the very first email to their attendees after, like, not the 7 people that booked appointments, but from the group of people that didn't book an appointment, they sent out their RTB link. And the first 2 conversions to come through that was a $1.2 million client. And then a second one was a $700,000 client. And I call them clients because this campaign worked, and he was able to turn those into business. So I think those are just, there's it's kind of a broad array here, right? But whether you're going to just kind of cast a small net and just kind of test a little bit and see what you can do there, or whether you want to go, to different states across the country, whatever it may be, we've got advisors that are really turning this into results, and it's been fun to see. Becky, any other thoughts that we want to cover before we go? I see you put the Innovate link in there.
Well, you got to share it out with everyone. The only other kind of final thought I have is if you are interested in these automated webinars, connect with our team. But if you really want to dig deep on kind of everything happening in the digital marketing space, everything that's happening in Washington and with taxes, with income planning, with longevity assumptions, kind of this big picture snapshot, we are hosting our very first virtual Innovate Summit in June, I believe June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Yeah, yeah, sometime in
Check
June.
the link that Neil is about to post to the group chat. Uh, what is so great about this is one, as a Stonewood member, it is totally free for you and anyone in your office to attend. So get everyone registered. We loved seeing a sold out crowd at our live event in February this year, but this is an opportunity where everyone doesn't have to be out of the office for a couple days. Everyone can log on. It's 3 days, 2 hours a day. Key learning, we're going to be covering tax and legislative risk, market and income risk, and then all the top converting marketing approaches for 2024 and beyond. Get registered, no cost. It is going to be an awesome 3 days of learning. So, Neil, I think if you want to repost, oh, you reposted it. Look at that.
Don't doubt me.
You are basically the Wizard of Oz controlling everything behind the scenes. Uh, get
Yeah.
registered for that. We sent out the first email registration. We've already got hundreds of people signed up. So
Yeah.
make sure your team's on there. Make sure you're on there. It is going to be really cool.
Yeah, and I talk to a lot of people that have they want their staff, like they'll come to the live training, and they'll say, "Man, I would love for my staff to be able to do this." That's the point here, is for people that either it's tough on them to travel, to be out of the office a couple of days to come to our live version. You can register and you'll get that content. But also just for everybody in the office to be able to attend. So if you're going to do that, what a lot of people do is they'll maybe order lunch in and sit in the conference room and kind of watch it together. But if that's the case, what I'd like to do though is have everybody still go ahead and individually register for the event, just so they get the updates and all the follow up and all of that stuff. So even if you're going to watch it as a group in your conference room, have everyone individually sign up. And by the way, they should all have their Stonewood access anyway. Your office level license gets access for everybody. So they should probably have their own Stonewood account too. And then of course, from the people that can't make it, can't travel, this is for you. I mean, we have, many advisors that we work with on a daily basis and still haven't seen the Innovate training, which is, I take great pride in it. It's the energy that we experience in that room is unlike anything I've ever been a part of in my going on 30-year career, Becky. You believe that?
Impossible. You must have
It,
started when you were 10.
yeah, no doubt. All these albums I listened to in college are like they're coming out with their 30-year anniversary re-release. I'm like, wait a minute, that can't happen. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
But Virtual Innovates is meant for that, to where we can get everyone involved, and we're going to try and replicate that energy from the live room into the sessions. That's why we've broken it up into 3 days. So we're not going to occupy your whole day. And if you can only make day 2 or day 3, whatever, register, and we'll try and get you a recording version. But we really want you to participate in the live part of the virtual training, so that we can get the Q&A going and try and create that energy from the event. Becky, any other thoughts before we wrap her up?
That's it. 2024. If you're not leveraging taxes and legislative risk, what are you doing? So we're all here at Stonewood. Let us know how we can help you really kind of put the pedal to the metal and accelerate the growth of your practice this year.
Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate you being part of this Stonewood Study Group. We try and do this like once a month or so. And so we always appreciate, and I love seeing some of the comments come through from you all. So thanks, everyone, for being a Stonewood member, and can't wait to talk to you again soon. Take care.